What's cooking, guys? My name is Alex and welcome back to A La Carte with Alex, where we are constantly serving you up delicious and yummy food, one dish at a time. So today I figured we'd do something a little bit different. I figured we would go hop in the car and go on a little trip. What we do is we're gonna do hamburgers today, but we're gonna mix it up a little bit. We're gonna reproduce the classic McDonald's hamburger. So we're gonna go and, we could just look up measurements, we could just look up ingredients, but where's the fun in that? Where's the science? What we're gonna do is we're gonna get some samples, we're gonna bring them back, we're gonna weigh them out, we're gonna take some measurements, we're gonna try and get as close to the one that you can find at any fast food McDonald's restaurant that you can, and you're gonna be able to make it at home. And then we're gonna do an amped up version. We're gonna take the classic, we're gonna put our own spin on it, and it's gonna be yummy, it's gonna be delicious. Let's get going. Alright, so I know what you guys are thinking. You guys are thinking that it would just be so simple to look it up online, find out exactly how much a McDonald's hamburger weighs, and then just like take that measurement there and then cook it up and we'd be done and we wouldn't be doing this this silly little errand. But where's the fun and where's the science, guys? Come on. So what we're gonna actually do is we're gonna go to 2 different McDonald's locations and we're gonna pick up the same thing, the same order, and we're gonna weigh it, we're gonna check it, because we could just go to one, but at the same time, if we're gonna take averages, we might as well get a bigger pool to pull that from. So by going to 2 different McDonald's, we're gonna see if McDonald's A and McDonald's B have the same patty ratio, which if it's a chain, I'm assuming so, because most chains, that's what they're focusing on, is they're focusing on consistency, and that's actually what I'm hoping for, is that we're going to be just maybe a couple ounces or a couple grams off with each patty, just because that's, how life works. It's just going to have that slight fluctuation, but I'm hoping that it's going to be exactly the same, or at least close to, at both locations. So that's what we're going to check. We're going to get one that's completely normal, totally fine, uninterrupted, and we're going to get one with sauce excluded. That way we can check and we can weigh the patty and we can see where it is from there. But that's what we're going to do. So let's go.
Hi, how may I help you?
Hi, how you doing today?
Good. How are you? Thanks for asking.
I'm good. Hey, question for you. Are you guys still serving breakfast?
Yes, we do.
Okay, awesome. Could I get an Egg McMuffin and a large Sprite?
Oh, I'm sorry. We're not pulling code at this time because our soda machine is broken.
Okay. Could I just get a hash brown then?
Iced teas and the McCopy.
No, it's okay. Just skip it. So just a Egg McMuffin, a hash brown. And then could I get 2 cheeseburgers?
Okay.
Could I get one of the cheeseburgers with no sauce?
No sauce?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then could I get 2 regular hamburgers?
Okay.
One of the hamburgers with no sauce?
Okay.
And that's it.
Alright, that'll be everything away.
Awesome, thank you. Okay, so I may have not picked the best time to go and get these hamburgers for this experiment. It's probably around lunchtime, and the line is huge, and there's a ton of people. But yeah, that's okay. We're doing this for science and for you guys. So I hope you're enjoying this. How's it going, man? Oh, not too bad. How's your day treating you? How's your day treating you?
Alright.
Yeah? Oh, well, at least you got a little shade. Yeah. Okay, could I get 2 cheeseburgers? Can I get one of those cheeseburgers with no sauce? Get 2 hamburgers, one of those hamburgers with no sauce. Could I get a large Sprite? And that's it.
A large Sprite, 2 cheeseburgers, 2 hamburgers, one with no sauce. That's gonna be 8.50.
Awesome, thank you. You too. Stay cool. Awesome. Thank you so much. Awesome. You have a good one. I always like to make sure I test the soda before I get too far away from the restaurant. Sometimes with the fast food places, like if the soda cartridge is out or the soda water's out, sometimes it'll taste a little funky, so I like to be able to turn back if I need to real quick, but it tasted good to me. So I think we're set. So now that we got our hamburgers, we're gonna go home, we're gonna weigh them out, we're gonna tear them apart, we're gonna test them, and we're gonna see what we can do, and then we're gonna make our own. So I'll see you guys back at home. Okay, so now that we're back from the store, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna open these bad boys up, and we're gonna take a look. We're gonna take some weights, we're gonna take some measurement with a scale and a ruler, and we're gonna try and reproduce these hamburgers so that way you guys can make it at home using your own ingredients, so you get nice fresh ingredients that you're excited to have yourselves. You can do these just as yummy, it's going to be as tasty, but you making it yourself is going to be way better because you made it, and it's going to be simple, easy, and delicious. So let's go ahead and let's get going. Okay, so what did we find from our samples? So for the hamburger, the overall weight was about 3.1 ounces. That's with no sauce, and about 3.3 ounces with the sauce. Now that was between both places. There wasn't any fluctuation. It was the same weight after taking it out of the package. Now the cheeseburger, on the other hand, had a big fluctuation. At the first one, it was actually, with sauce, it was 4.2 ounces. And at the other location, it was 3.7 ounces with the sauce. Now without, it was 3.5, and at the first location, it was 3.8. So that was a big fluctuation. That could be just the amount of sauce that they added on, that could be the density of the bun, that could be the cheese and the amount that wasn't stuck onto the paper that made it onto the scale. Tried to pull all of it off and make sure it was a total weight, but the cheeseburger actually had the biggest fluctuation. So if you're looking for consistency I would say stick to the hamburger without the cheese if you want the most consistent. At the same time, I personally like the cheese. I think it's a nice creamy addition to any hamburger, and I don't know if I'd have one without cheese at all. But moving on to that combination itself. Every bun, top and bottom combined, weighed about 2 ounces. The patty itself that came off of the patty, every single one was about 1 ounce, which is astonishing to me, which is awesome if you're looking for that consistency. Now, the pickles and the onions were both 0.1 ounces across the board. Now, I've known so many people that complain about the burger saying, I only got 1 pickle versus getting 2 pickles. Now, when you weigh it out, the 2 pickles actually weighed the 0.1 ounce that was equal to the 1. So while I got 2 burgers that only had 1 pickle on it, the pickle was much larger and weighed the same as the 2 smaller pickles, which is kind of crazy. I honestly didn't see that coming. I honestly thought there's going to be way more fluctuation with these burgers. The cheeseburgers were the ones that I saw the biggest fluctuation with, but that's just, that's amazing to me that they're that consistent. And that's probably why so many people love McDonald's, is that they know exactly what they're going to get. They're going to get a 2-ounce bun with a 1-ounce patty with a 0.1 ounces of onions on it with 0.1 ounces of pickles, and they're going to get ketchup and mustard on that as well, and it's going to be perfectly weighed out. It's going to taste exactly the same every single time, and that's what people look for in fast food. They look for that consistency. So now let's move on to making our own. Okay, so we need to start assembling. Now for our burger, we need to actually try and hit 4 ounces. That's going to equal out one of our cheeseburgers with all of our ingredients. So we're going to start with a bun and just kind of put all of our stuff together. So I went ahead and I went to the store and I tried to find a bun that was just as consistent as the one from McDonald's. Now, the one from the store is a little bit fluffier, doesn't have that toasted bottom yet. We're going to go ahead and toast that as well. But I tried to find something that had that same consistency, that same little bounce to it that we could. So I tried to get as close as I could to match that up. Now, we figured out our bun. We have our meat, we're gonna figure that out, but first, let's deal with our onion. So for our hamburger, let's dissect this a little bit. So we have thin cut pickles, and we have small, almost fine diced onions. So we need to try and replicate that with our onion itself. So let's go ahead and do that. How are we gonna do that? Let's take our onions and leave those out here as an example, so we know what we're looking for. It's an extremely fine dice. So that's exactly what we're going to try and do with our onion now. Now you don't have to do this, but at the same time we're doing this in a scientific way, so we are going to do the best we can to get that fine dice. Now they may have a machine that does this, I'm not sure, but we have our own hands and that's what we're going to use. Now we don't need a lot, we only need 0.1 ounces. So it's actually going to save us a lot of onion, but we're going to use that later on. Okay. Now if we really wanted to get super fine, we could get in here and give it an additional chop. Now if you're really trying to reproduce this, you got to be careful. You don't want to macerate these onions and just turn them into mush. Let's just give it another quick little chop, and we'll go ahead and we're going to weigh these out. Okay, put a tear on our scale. Looking for 0.1 ounces. So slowly add that till we get there. There we go. Like I said, not a lot of onion, so go ahead and set that off to the side and we'll continue. Cheese is easy. Cheese, we already have that portioned out. We're using the Kraft American Single. It's a classic, it's delicious. If you're not on board with it for hamburgers, trust me, you're gonna wanna try it. You get a nice creaminess, it's super delicious, and it's easy. Now, is it my go-to cheese? Is it the best cheese out there? Probably not, but at the same time, this is delicious every single time. It's consistent, it's good, and it's creamy. For pickles, we want dill. We want that sour taste to come through. We don't want sweet butter bread pickles. We don't want sweet pickles. We want that little bit of a tang. And we want to go ahead and slice those real thin. We're not going to need a lot. We just need a couple. It's going to equal that 0.1 ounces. Might be a little bit bigger, might be a little bit smaller. Let's grab our scale. Weigh that out. Okay, so one pickle should be about 0.1 ounces. So we'll go ahead and leave that to the side and save these delicious bad boys for later. Okay, so when it comes to burger, we take my secret blend of meat, which really isn't that big a secret. It's actually half chuck and half sirloin. Now, if you don't have sirloin and you don't have chuck, I go for a leaner piece of meat, and I also go for a fattier piece of meat. The fattiest that I can find at the store and the leanest I can find at the store. You're gonna get that little savoriness, you're gonna get the fat that you need to hold this together, as well as bring a lot of flavor. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna weigh out not just 1 ounce, but we're gonna weigh out 1.2, 1.3 ounces, because about 25% of the weight is gonna be lost in the cooking process. So it's a little much, so take some of that off. A little too much. Okay, we got 1.2, 1.3, that's perfect. That's what we're gonna use to cook. It's not a lot of meat. These McDonald's hamburgers really don't have that much burger to them. They're pretty thin, they're pretty flat, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna ball it up and we're gonna try and replicate this size and shape. Now, if you notice it's getting a little tough to work your meat, go ahead and run your hands under cool water, and that's gonna really help out with that. So, try and smooth this out, flatten it as round as possible. If you have a tortilla press, I find that actually works really, really well for doing this. And since this is such a thin piece of meat, it's gonna cook so quickly. So, you wanna try and smooth it out, get that rounded edge, and try to make sure that there's not a lot of meat in the middle, because that's gonna be the part that's gonna cook last. Okay, so it's pretty close. Try and flatten it out just a little bit more. Bring the spatula to the party if need be. And there we go. There is our McDonald's hamburger patty. A little bit more rustic than theirs, but at the same time, way more delicious. So let's go ahead and get this into the pan. Okay, so first things we need to do is we need to get this pan piping hot. We need to get it on medium to high heat, and we need to add some canola oil, which I already did, so that way when we add that burger in, it's gonna be sizzling, it's gonna be yummy, it's gonna be tasty, and it's gonna get a nice crust to it on the outside. Now we have another pan over here, right here, where we're gonna actually toast our bun. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna turn that on, because this bun, or this patty is gonna cook super quick. So we're gonna get this one turned on, turn it on a medium-low heat, and we're gonna grease it up with some butter. That's gonna add a lot of flavor to that bun as we get it nice and toasted. So I'm gonna spread that around, get it nice and coated. We're gonna wait for that to get nice and hot and become a little sizzly. Okay, so the great thing about replicating this burger is how quickly it cooks. Because the patty's so thin, we really don't need to keep it in this pan for too long once it's nice and hot. So we're gonna wait for this to come to heat. You're gonna start seeing some little wispies start to show up, and that's how we're gonna know this is ready. Okay, so now we're starting to see that little wisp of smoke, so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get that on to medium-high heat. We're gonna add our burger. You're gonna hear some sizzling. It's exactly what we wanna hear. We wanna hear it sing, we wanna hear it applaud us. Okay, so So while that's cooking, while that's starting to warm up, we're gonna hit it with a little salt, just a little pinch of kosher salt. And we're gonna hit it with some black pepper. Both sides. We'll let that cook just for a couple minutes. Maybe even less than 30 seconds actually. We're really gonna let that just cook down just a tiny bit before we flip it. Now, a lot of people have the temptation to push their burgers down and smash their burgers. Don't do it. You're just gonna push up all the juices that you're building in this patty. So, let it be, let it cook, and then check it. You know, if you go to flip it and it doesn't release, that's how you know it's not ready to go. So, I'm gonna hit it with some salt again on this side, a little pinch, some pepper. And while that is cooking away, I'll go over here. We're gonna toast up our bun. Okay, that is singing real nice. Now, depending on how you like your burgers, how long you want it, if you want it well done, if you want it medium rare, which is almost perfect if you want it medium to medium rare, that's my favorite way of doing a burger, and that's how we're going to do this one. Just cook it up just a little bit. I'm going to take it off, I'm going to set it on our cutting board, and we're going to let it rest. Look at those. See this caramelization? That's what you're looking for. Now, depending on your pan, you may not get it completely even. You just want them warm and toasty. Okay, those are about ready. Let's pull those out. Ooh, you know what? I forgot the cheese. So we're gonna add that back on real quick. Just a couple seconds, just a little bit of heat. Let that melt down. There we go, not too long. You don't want to overcook it, and if you forget your cheese, you just want to get it nice and melty. So let's go ahead and transfer this and we'll start assembling. So we have our example, we have their bun, our bun, then they do their patty, and then cheese. So we'll take patty, cheese. Let's take a look. So patty, cheese. Then they have pickles. So we'll take our one pickle, put it on top like theirs. Then we have onions, just kind of clustered on top there, so let's cluster that up. And then we have ketchup and what looks like a little bit of mustard, so we're going to do mainly ketchup here. Give that a good shake. Good amount of ketchup there. And then a little bit of mustard. Whoop, a lot of bit of mustard. Okay, we're gonna take our spoon. Gonna even that out just a little bit. And then we have our top bun. Okay, so there we have it. We have the McDonald's hamburger, and we have ours. A little bit thicker, a little bit bigger. Let's go ahead and do the taste test. So, take a bite of theirs. Pretty good. Exactly what you would expect from McDonald's hamburger. It is a little bit colder because it's been sitting around while we've been making this one. But let's try ours. Wow. That's good. So we have the fresh meat. Did we do it ourselves? The cheese, ketchup, mustard, pickles, onions, toasted bun. That's good. Okay. I would say that's a victory. That's a victory for us. But we're not done there. We're gonna do our amped up version of this burger. I like a good bite of hamburger when I get into a hamburger. That's what makes it a hamburger. So we're gonna be doubling, if not tripling up the size of our burger. Go ahead and add that to your smoking hot pan. Season with salt and pepper. And actually, you know what we're gonna do? Instead of just doing salt and pepper, give it a good healthy sprinkle there. We're gonna add a little bit more flavor. We're gonna bring paprika to the party. Gonna get some ground paprika. Let's give it a nice little smokiness to it. If you have smoked paprika, that's even better. Regular paprika is gonna work just as well. And while that's starting to cook, we're gonna cover it. So then that way that steam is gonna help just cook that patty. It's gonna keep that moisture in there. It's gonna be yummy, it's gonna be delicious. How are we gonna make our amped up burger even better? Brioche buns. We're gonna take those, we're gonna toast it. It's gonna bring a little sweetness to the party, and it's gonna be delicious when it's toasted. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna add those to the pan as we cook this down. We're gonna check on our burger again. Now I didn't push down on it, I just gave it a little love tap. We're gonna hit it with the paprika. I'm gonna hit it with some kosher salt. And some pepper. And then cover, let it steam. Make sure it's on medium heat. You don't want to overcook it. You don't want to cook it too fast, but you do want that crust to form on that burger. So once that is about toasted, once that's about ready to go, that's when we're gonna hit with our cheese. Put that bad boy over the top. Let it steam. Oh yeah, get a close look at that. Look at that melty deliciousness. That's what we're looking for. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go ahead, we're gonna assemble it right now. We have our toasted brioche bun. Top and bottom sides have been toasted. We are gonna pull over our bigger patty that we had, but don't just add it on there. No, wait. So, I'm a big fan that you don't just have your bun directly on the patty. It's gonna make that bun soggy, it's gonna make it harder to eat, and you don't want that. So, what we do is we take our ketchup and we start that as our base. So we do ketchup on one side, we do mustard on the other side. We give that a nice spread. That's gonna help protect that bun from getting soggy. Give that a spread. Okay, so now that we have our coating to protect our buns, we go ahead and we add our burger to the bottom. We give it a nice thin slice of tomato, bigger cuts of onion. I'm gonna go ahead and add that right on top. Now, if you're really feeling brave and you wanna really amp it up a little bit, hit one of your sides of your buns with some Sriracha. It's gonna bring a nice little heatness to it, a little sweetness to it, and it's gonna be delicious. In addition to our American cheese, I like to hit it with a little bit of grated Parmesan right on top to bring a little salty cheese to the party. So that could be good. You have your cheese, you have two kinds of cheese, you have onions, pickles. Pickles? Did I add pickles? I did not add pickles. Hit it with little pickles. And that would be a delicious burger. Top that and you're good to go. Now if you really want to amp up your burger, you're gonna need a fried egg. So let's go check that out and we're gonna add that to it. Make this just an amazing burger. Butter and egg's gonna be your best friend. Go ahead and add that to your pan. This is looking like it's a little too hot, so turn that heat down. You don't want to brown the butter. You want it to be tasty, so a quick stir. Have our egg ready to go. There we go. Like I said, eggs and butter are delicious yumminess. So, get in the middle. Try to keep it as round as possible so it's going to fit on your bun. Don't mess with it too much. Just while it's cooking, hit it with a little kosher salt, a little black pepper. Let it cook for a little bit. You want to see this bubbling. That's good. Now, you don't want to overcook it. You want about over easy, over medium. That's how you're going to get your fried egg, which is essentially the same thing. Okay, once it starts dancing like that, that's what you want. So go ahead, And be very careful, but give it a little flip. You see that golden? That's what you're looking for. That's that cook temperature I want. Now hit it again with a little salt on the other side. And some pepper. And you should be good. Just let it cook on the other side until it's ready to go, and we're gonna transfer it over to our burger. All right, now that we are done with our egg, we go ahead and we transfer over to our burger. Pop that on top. And there you go. There is our amped up McDonald's hamburger. Sweet, delicious, perfect to go. So let's go ahead and do exactly what we're gonna do. Do that Burger House trick where you take the knife and you dig it all the way through. And there you go. That looks awesome. Here, take a look at this. Look at that burger. That is delicious. That is yummy. Okay, so now that you have your steakhouse cut, you go ahead and you cut down the side. Okay, now we can have one of those ooey gooey, delicious, sexy side reveals. Oh yeah, there we go. You got your pickles, you got your egg, your sauces, your bun, your burger, your cheese, all of that in one ooey gooey delicious bite. That is friggin' yummy. I'm gonna go ahead and dive right in. Okay, so that is a good burger. That is yummy, that is delicious. It's sweet, it's savory, it's got a little bit of heat, got a little bit of spice to it. It's yummy, it's delicious, and now you guys have a couple of tricks for making your own burger at home, for amping up your own home burgers, for making your own McDonald's hamburger at home, which might be a little bit healthier and delicious depending on your opinion. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you hit the bell, subscribe so you're not missing any of our videos and you're always seeing what's coming up next. But as always, thank you guys so much for watching. Stay healthy and stay hungry.